Today, a bold call from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. During his address at the Munich Security Council, Zelenskyy said the time has come to create a European army. A day after Vice President J.D. Vance gave remarks scolding European leaders, Zelenskyy warned Europe could not rely on America's support for its defense. Elizabeth Palmer is in Munich with more. Elizabeth, good morning.
Good morning. It took Vice President J.D. Vance just a few minutes to infuriate many of Europe's top politicians. This morning on this side of the Atlantic, the papers are calling his keynote address here in Munich vengeful, preachy, unkind, and said that, they're saying that it really serves to deepen the risk between the United States and some of its oldest, staunchest allies. Vice President Vance accused mainstream European politicians of failing to control immigration and then eroding free speech by muzzling anti-immigration parties from the far right.
The threat that I worry the most about vis-a-vis Europe is not Russia, it's not China, it's not any other external actor. And what I worry about is the threat from within.
The speech got a chilly reaction in the room and provoked red-hot anger afterwards. He compared parts of Europe to authoritarian regimes, said Germany's defense minister Boris Pistorius, and that is unacceptable. Vance then went on to meet Alice Weidel, the leader of Germany's far-right AfD party. Her party, which has threatened to deport migrants of non-German ethnic heritage, is polling well going into national elections next weekend. All eyes had been on a meeting between the U.S. Vice President, the Secretary of State, and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy.
We want the war to come to a close.
For only half an hour, the meeting ended with no new information on how the U.S. would help bring an end to Russia's war with Ukraine or what role Ukraine would play in negotiations. In a speech this morning, Zelenskyy didn't give any more hints on that. Instead, he referred back to the Vance keynote address.
Yesterday here in Munich, the U.S. Vice President made it clear. Decades, he said, decades of the old relationship between Europe and America are ending.
The U.S. would no longer ensure security in Europe, he said, so it was urgent that Europe create its own standing army. There is a little news on a possible way ahead for talks that would end Russia's war in Ukraine. And it comes from the Saudi government, which tweeted this morning that it, I quote, commended the phone call between Presidents Putin and Trump and the talk of a summit in Saudi to discuss the issue further sometime soon. Michelle?
Liz Palmer, thank you.